Hi, welcome. This is Daryl Brooks of the Onfire Show, and I'm coming live from you to you. And you know, one of the things that is so great is talking to the audience and people from around the city of Trenton, Jersey, and around the state and around the country. I'm getting so many nice views and likes from around the country. I think I'm up to about 800 views from my last talk. There are things that I like to talk about in the city of Trenton. I get right to the point. I am a Trenton, New Jersey resident. I was born in the city of Trenton. I was educated in the city of Trenton, Trenton High School. There's some issues I like to talk about the educational system in Trenton High, in the whole Trenton school system. And you know, I did some research, and I looked up facts that I kind of knew, but I wanted to get the numbers right, so I can let you know. And some people may not know these numbers. And it's serious, people. I always say it's serious in our school district. And you ever wonder why our kids are not educated enough? Our kids are more violent than ever before. There's more violent crime. You know, our city is, I like to use, our show is called Onfire Show. So the city of Trenton, just like Newark and Camden and other areas of Philadelphia, but I'm from Trenton, so I'm going to specifically talk about Trenton today. Our city is on fire, people. And our politicians, they're not trying to put out the fire. Our preachers are not trying to put out the fire. And our activists are not trying to put out a fire. And, you know, there may be one or two preachers, one or two politicians in our city, but the majority are just allow this fire to just get stronger and stronger, and it's rising and it's destroying our foundation of our city. And I'm gonna point out something to you people, to the viewers. I looked up some results in the school districts. And over New Jersey, it's this thing called, say, PARCO, P-A-R-C-O, results of English. And of all the top schools in New Jersey, the English test in Trenton High School High is rated 331 out of 360 schools. Guess who's the worst school in the state of New Jersey for English? They like Twilight. Guess who's and then if you look at math, Trenton High is rated 371 at math out of like 379. Guess who's ranked dead last? They like Twilight. So they like Twilight and is rated worst in New Jersey for high schools in math and English. Trenton High is ranked 331 out of 370. Math 389. I mean, it's dead. I mean, all these Trenton High School is almost dead last, and Daylight Twilight is dead last. There's this thing called School Digger, and Trenton High is ranked. Central High is 373 out of 409. These are rankings you can go online, people. Now, it's this thing called Niche, 2018. And Trenton High School District, the whole school district in Trenton High School specifically, we're talking about Trenton High, is rated a D-. D- in academics, C- in teaching, C in clubs and, you know, activities, B for diversity, a D for college prep, wow, a C+ for health and safety, a D+ for administration. But the highest grade that Trenton High School gets is a B+ for sports. So, seems to me they care more about sports and having fun, basketball and football, but when it comes to academics and teachers, it's D plus, C minus. And they get a C for food and a C for resources and facilities. Wow. And I was looking at the map overall schools in the city of Trenton, from elementary, junior high school, and Trenton and high school. Our school ranking is not at it. There's no A's, there's no B's, there's no B plus. Everything is a C minus to a D plus in all our schools. Now you got to ask the question, why is this happening? Why is this? And it just didn't get like this. It just didn't happen this overnight. And you know, and how could we fix this problem that we have in our school district? And we've had the same type of political leaders, I guess, for 20 years. You know, all the way from Palmer to Tony Mack, and now Eric Jackson. You got to look at the city council and the type of leadership. But I just don't blame them, because you look at the preaching and the activists that we've had in our city. Look at the preachers who could motivate masses amount of people, but you know, about education, about jobs, about crime, about violence. And you know, we got Reverend Armstrong, Shiloh Baptist Church. We got Daniels was Kingdom, now he's the Change Church. You know, we have all these other ones, Union Baptist. You know, we got all these churches in Trenton and outside of Trenton, but mainly a lot of Trenton residents go to. But nothing has changed. We're more violent than our youth are more violent than ever before, and it's hurting me. In our school district, like I said, in the school district, we got a D academics, and C in teaching, and a B in diversity and college prep. It's a D in college prep. So that tells you where the state of mind of our educational system and academics, and it talks about the school board. The school board, Trenton High School board, is a D minus. Now, we talked about voting and what should happen. What you should ask your politicians that are running for city council. Ask them, and run for mayor. You know, the ones who are in city council right now and the one who is running for mayor, ask them, why is our school district is a D minus? You know, why we have issues with our children, but the school district should be ready. You represent us. We vote for you to make sure we have a good school system. You know, stopping violence on the street, making sure we have our good taxes. But I mean, these are serious questions that you have to ask, and I don't believe they have been asked by the average individuals in the city of Trenton. And it's, you know, I truly believe it's time for a revolution in the city of Trenton. I mean, this is not acceptable. But guess who has an A plus in New Jersey? Princeton. Princeton has an A plus school rating. Wow, A plus. That means their kids are learning. That means they have the right professors and facilities, and you know, and they're you know, you have an administration that's able to do certain things to make sure the kids have the right environment to learn. But our administration isn't. And so who is to blame? You know, yes, you have to blame the mayor. You have to blame members of city council. You have to blame our school organizations, because it's sad. Over and over again, you look at the school board. You blame the school board. You know, ask the school members, why are we rated almost dead last, in daylight twilight, dead last. So the kids thinking they're going to daylight twilight, thinking they might get a good education, but they basically getting a, you know, A, 5th grade, 4th grade reading level, math level. That's what this means. That's what this means. The scores mean. So what types of, once again, I always talk about what types of jobs are they going to have? How are they going to do great things? It's time for a revolution, people, in the city of Trenton, a political revolution. You're allowing, as Chris Christie said, these numbnuts. These are numbnuts people running the school system, running our educational system, running the political system. And you allowing it because they're your friends, they're your cool. And we have our political and preachers. You're allowing, and the ones who are in the political office right now, they're allowing their friends, they're making 70, 80, 90, $100,000 a year. And our school system is terrible. Our streets are terrible. Our water is terrible. And there's something is definitely wrong with the thinking of the city of the people in the city of Trenton and the leadership. I mean, I'm going to say this: the black leadership, the preachers. Preachers, you go to church on every Sunday. Do any of them talk about the educational system? Do any of them talk about the crime and the violence in the city of Trenton? And how do we deal with that? Do any of them talk about the water system in the city of Trenton that has been terrible for the last 15, 20 years? No, they're not talking about it. So you go to church on Sunday morning, and I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I go to Shiloh Baptist Church too. And I start looking at, you know, what's going on. What's going on in all these churches of change? All these churches that these Baptists, the sanctified, the holified, the, you know, all these Pentecostal. When they can't fix the problem, they can't come together. These are educated preachers. Armstrong, educated. He's an ambassador. Darius Daniels, educated. Come as you are type church. You know, Reverend Harris, Union Baptist Church. I can't think of the preacher name. But all these and the other churches, you know, they're educated. Reverend Broach, educated. All these preachers are so-called educated, but they can't come together to fix the problem, to deal with a moral crisis in our community. You know, and it's disturbing. You know, I got Martin Luther King on some hype. I got good coffee, and I'm just so hurt because the preachers can't come together. The politicians, the ones on city council, the mayor, come together, bring people together. Let's do an educational conference to make our city a great city. But they won't do that. Some will, some won't. You have some on council that I think that actually care about young people. I don't want to say their names because if I say their names and they get upset, well, Daryl Brooks said my name on the show. But, you know, there may be one or two, maybe three. But other than that, no, by two. I'm not going to say which two, I believe. But, you know, it's something serious, people. And can you imagine down the road when the elementary kids who can't read and do math and more violent than ever before. They're violent right now in elementary school. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in Trenton when these kids get to high school? Can you imagine what the city is going to be like? So I want parents to understand this. It's time for a political revolution and maybe a social revolution in our city. You know, you have to get up out of your beds and do something. And you know, one of the things that, you know, like Dr. King talked about and he preaches about, because I have him right now, I'm listening to Dr. King, if you can hear his voice, a social revolution. You know, and a social political revolution. You know, this is, you know, the politicians that we have in office cannot stand. You know, they have to go. There's certain ones they have to go. You know, King said it best: "True forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown says God within the shadows, keeping watch over His own." You know, God is watching us. God is with us. God will protect us. But it is time. We can't allow our kids for the next 10, 15 years generation of failure. You know, and that's what is needed in our city, people. A political, social revolution. We cannot be a strong society when you have kids that are coming up. You have adults that are leaving high school are functionally illiterate. What type of society are we going to have? And that's the question that you should ask yourself. What type of society do you want for the city of Trenton? And then there's ones who are sitting on, who are very educated, and you know, they're nice. They live certain areas in Trenton, and you know, they're you know, they got the nice jobs. You know, wonder what are they thinking? Oh well, as long as, you know, I got my nice job, I make $100,000 a year. I work for the city, I work for the county. Everything is fine, but it's coming to you. It's going to be knocking on your door soon. It's happening in the cities, but it's coming to certain places. The question is, what do you want to do about it? You know, I brought Dr. Bernard Lafayette, and then I brought some other ones to talk about nonviolence education. None of the politicians wanted to come. None of the preachers wanted to come. They didn't show up. I think Alex Bethea at the time showed up. I thank you. I love you, Alex. Kathy McBride showed up. But that was it. Doc Long showed up. So you politicians and you activists, community activists, none of the community activists showed up. You know, no Divine Allah, no what's the other guy? It's Divine Allah and some other ones in the community. You know, Freedom didn't show up. You know, and there were some other ones that did not show up, and other community leaders who just did not show up. But they cry about, how do you fix violence? And one of the things that Dr. Bernard Lafayette came to the city of Trenton and some other ones before that said, we have to, nonviolence education is the only way to stop dealing with violence. How do we stop dealing with the violence in our hearts? The kids need to stop violence in their heart and their mind. And this is how they have to deal with it. You know, with all this violence on television, all the violence in the street, the violence at home, they don't know how to deal with it. Violence in schools. So we have to revolutionize our educational system. It's not, people, what I am saying to you in the city of Trenton, that it's not getting any better, no matter what any politician tells you or any preacher tells you, because I have the statistics right here. I have niche, then it has the PARCO, PARCO, then they have School Digger. These are all online resources that you can use. The top schools in the state of New Jersey to the worst schools, and the Trenton High School is the worst school, one of the worst schools. You know, and then you can see what other school districts are doing. But as a Trenton resident, something is wrong. So people, and I want to say this: we have city councilmen, we have mayor, we have freeholders, we have state assembly, and we have county executives, individuals that are part of the city of Trenton. You need to ask them, how do we fix, what plans do you have to fix our school districts for education, making sure our kids graduate on a reading level and a math level that they can go out and do great things. And then you got to question even Mercer County Community College. And it's still, look up top junior colleges in the nation. Mercer County is not even in the top 300 to 400 junior colleges in the nation. So check that out. If the school system Trenton High School system is failing tremendously, what is Mercer County Community College downtown Trenton, or even the Mercer County? They're ranked low too. And I want you to look at it, and this is not a conspiracy, but the same ones who are part of the Trenton school systems and politics are running this on boards. Look at the Mercer County School Board. Look at Mercer County School Board. Look at the Trenton School Board. Look at the Trenton political leaders, and you get to connect the dots. Who's on who's, the board members. And that's what I ask people. I love the city of Trenton, but it's time for political and social revolution to happen in our cities, in the city of Trenton. It's time to rise up, get out of your bed, get off work, and go to City Hall. Go to your preacher, these big churches. In the name of Jesus says, you know, what is your plan to fix the educational system? What is your plan to deal with the violence in our cities, in our city of Trenton? You know, Jesus was about love. Love everyone. Blessed are the purest in heart. That's what he said. You know, and Jesus was revolutionary. Jesus died on the cross for me and you. Me and you. And that's what it's all about. You know, we need leaders who think like Dr. King. And one of Dr. King's quotes was that we're all caught up in this great inescapable network of mutuality, tied in the single garment of destiny. And whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And that I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be unless I am what I ought to be. Then he quotes John Donne, the poet, that no man is an island. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Then he goes on to say that any man's death diminishes me because I am involved with mankind. Therefore, never send to know whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. And that's what we should be like. We should be this way. Our politicians and mayors and city council and preachers should be this way, and community activists and people who are popular and they come out to have events and things that this is what they should believe, that we're all one. But there's some who don't believe that. As a matter of fact, there's a lot who don't believe that. They want you to come out to their basketball games and they're coming out with all these different things and parties and all black and all white and, you know. But all hell is breaking loose in our school systems. You know, ask Zachary Cheston, you know, what are you doing for West Fork? And there's this other lady named Rachel Cogsville who's running for city council. This is not a popularity contest. You know, not just giving a basketball night and you know, what are you, ask Rachel, what are you going to do to fix the educational system? What are you going to do to lower taxes? What are you going to do to make our city safe? You know, 3 issues. What are you going to do about legal immigration? That's the question you should be asking Zachary Cheston, and that's Rachel Cogsville. You know, these are, and other city council people that are running for city council, and Lee Ingram, and asking the people who will be running for mayor, ask them, what is their plan? And ask them to be specific on a plan. Be very specific on how to fix and how do we change the city to we makes the world takes. Thank you. God bless. And never be dissatisfied. And never be satisfied. Keep going. Keep rising to the top. And keep fighting and asking questions. And yes, we need a political social revolution in our city of Trenton. And the Democrats, I'm sorry, I'm independent. They fail. They're failing. Because the ones I love, you love being a Democrat. And what does it mean to be a Democrat? What does it mean to be like my grandson, Malik? What does it mean for him to be a Democrat? Why should I keep voting, grow up and vote for a Democrat? Why should you keep voting for these Democratic politicians in our cities? And complete failure. Failure over and over again. I mean, give out chicken, give out turkey every Thanksgiving, give out a gift on, Christmas Day, and give out fish and chips and, during election time, and you're happy with that while their friends are, at City Hall making $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year. Money, your money. And your water is no good. Your educational system is no good. They're failing you, people. I love the city of Trenton, but it's time for a revolution. Political, social revolution. It's time. And if you don't stand up and rise up, it's going to happen. It's going to get worse. But if you stand up and rise up, and I'll stand up and fight with you. Because as I said, true forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Get that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown, God standing in the shadows, keeping watch above his own. God is watching us. God is with us. God was with the civil rights movement. God was with us in so many movements to make America better, and make society better. And God will always be with us as long as we continue to do the right thing. God bless us. 25 minutes and I'm out. It's time for political and social revolution. If not, then it's done. It's just done. It's terrible. God bless. Leave a comment.